me and my friend were
All right, going live.
Discord, and the video was like 5 seconds behind the audio.
Hi.
So like I just.
Welcome to the Greyhawk channel. This is Anabasis. Why don't we have everyone introduce themselves? Starting with Calv.
I am Calvy Calf. I am playing Kazu Darkmoon, a human, like an Order of the Lycan Bloodhound.
How about Avatar?
Hello, Avatar of Wrath here. I'm going to be playing Gruda, my Path of the Totem Warrior Barbarian. He's a half-orc and ex-soldier. He's going to be asking a few questions.
I'm Riss. You can find me in chat as Dread Branch. I'm going to be playing Adelier Tyrannamar, the Wood Elf life cleric who seeks to preserve life in all of its forms, except for wanton stupidity, it seems.
Apparently.
All right, and I'm Ryan, RoadDog79 on Twitter. I'm going to be playing Jandor, a Oath of the Vengeance human paladin.
So, to get this started, we're thankful for the sponsors who make the Greyhawk channel possible and keep us growing and growing. It's critical that each show we air consistently thanks these individuals and businesses. Here's a list of our current sponsors in order I'd like them. First and foremost, our Patreon and Twitch subscribers. They're what keep us rolling. Roll20. We're supported by Roll20. All of our games are powered by Roll20, the world's leading virtual tabletop, and now the Greyhawk channel is officially supported by Roll20, and you can try it out for free at roll20.net. Heroic Maps is our official battle sponsor. You can check out their library of more than 300 maps on DriveThruRPG. Tabletop Loot. You can go to tabletoploot.com and enter Greyhawk in the coupon code box and get 15% of your dice order. Our Patreon supporters and Twitch subscribers can get the coupon codes to ruinc.com and Cantrip Candles in the private section of our Discord. All right, so to start things off, we are going to go back in time a couple years to just 3 of our members, and we're going to be in the Brightlands. So, the Brightlands is a place that is very, very hostile and is filled with warlords, and we've got Rary in charge. Currently, we are in a war band of the Darkmoon clan, who we've got several members here. How about we start with Kazu Darkmoon and where he might be on a given day in the warband?
Probably in some kind. If there's some kind of medical tent, or probably there, because I mean I have the herbalism proficiency, so I would be trying to help out by brewing potions, or of healing, or making poultices for wounds and whatnot.
A runner comes in and stops in front of you.
Hello. I don't like to keep it company.
You're needed in a meeting.
No.
In the main tent.
Okay. I'll make sure nothing will explode when I leave, and then I'll head to the main tent.
All right. And Gruda, where are you on a given day?
Well, typically he'd either be doing some sort of, if not a scouting assignment, then he's probably tending to his equipment, resting up, saving up his strength for when we head out into the desert. Maybe drinking. Probably drinking.
Probably drinking.
Lots of water.
Water, whatever alcohol might be around, whatever. I'm not picky. Alcohol.
Alcohol downed water.
Yeah, whatever.
So a runner comes up to you and knocks over a few clay pots as he comes in his haste. And he stops right in front of Gruda, breathing heavily. You're needed in the main tent.
And he kind of just nods at him and then goes to start gathering up his things.
The runner just turns and starts running away as he heads to see Jandor.
You'd probably see Jandor sitting around the fire, sharpening his 6-foot-long longsword, examining it ever so often, just making sure all his gear is ready for what lies before him, whatever the higher powers send his way.
So where Jandor is, this person comes running up and slides a little bit on the sand as he tries to stop before falling into the fire.
I just look up at him, give him a stare, and go back sharpening.
You're needed in the main tent.
I look back up at him, nod, go back to sharpen the sword. After he leaves, I'll go ahead and sigh, pick up my things, gather them up, and start heading at my own pace.
So it sounds like Calv, you're the first one who's going to make it to the main tent.
Okay.
This tent, of course, it's the main tent. It's not the largest tent though. Which is usually where communal cooking happens. But it is the one with the most prominence, and it has bells hanging on the tethers, and it's got streamers. You know this tent well. When you walk
Yep.
in, instead of sand, there's many carpets on the floor, and there's only one chair in the main in this front room, of which there's a man seated there reading a scroll. He's slightly older, but he's in good shape, and he's got a sword hanging out on the side of the chair, and he doesn't even look up as you come in. There are 2 guards at the front, and there's 2 guards hanging out in the tent.
Okay. Walk over, just stand somewhere.
Where are the others?
Others what?
The war chief stands up and looks at you. Oh, have they not arrived yet?
No.
Pity.
Us blood ravens always on time. You know, if you told them there was a fight, they would have showed up faster.
He sits back down and waits about 5 minutes for the next person to come in.
Isn't that the truth? If you said there was a fight or free brews, we'd have been here like that.
Like that.
Oh shiz, there's fights going down!
So I guess Jandor walks in. He nods over at his fellow warband members and then just stands off to the side. He looks extremely uncomfortable in the tent.
Hey.
And he just keeps rereading the scroll over and over and over as he waits and waits.
And I'm sure Gruda comes in not too much later after, he's gathered up his stuff and comes in holding his two-handed great axe. And he finds a spot after looking around and just kind of squats, nods at the other guys.
She pops a squat.
Yeah, he's on the balls of his feet in case he has to get up and attack something.
Good, you're here. So this is the squad that has started calling themselves the Blood Ravens?
We are.
Yeah.
I have a mission for you. One that'll take you outside of the Brightlands.
Well, that's exciting. Okay, alrighty.
From here on out, you are the mercenary company, the Blood Ravens, instead of just a group. As you know, our Emperor is looking for a magical object, and he wanted us to send people to find something. So, I'm sending you. I don't know what he's looking for, but when you find something, bring it back. You're leaving tonight.
Oh, okay.
Head east. And then he rolls up the scroll and tosses it at Kazid. I know you won't disappoint me.
Well, we'll both be surprised, won't we? Okay. I'll go pack.
I just kind of roll my eyes, follow Kazid out of the.
Jandor, make sure your sword is sharp.
Always.
Okay. Meet me by the main fire, you guys, after dinner, and then we'll head out.
Gruda's gonna go over towards the see if he can go get a riding horse from the supply master. He's gonna use his old military rank and connections as an infantryman because he's only got a mule. He can't afford a horse. And then he'll go get the rest of his equipment ready.
All right.
Aren't you fancy?
So you go to the supply master, who isn't there, but you know the kid who's sitting there swinging his feet on a barrel. He basically is the second or training up to learn everything that's here.
Grudel approach him and kind of just look around, make sure there's nobody in here to ambush him, and then he kind of just tells him, Gruda need horse. Gruda need riding horse. Big boss sends blood mercs.
Close enough.
It's good enough for him.
No, I'm not even there, but I'm like, instinctively, I'm like, close enough for Gerda.
There's a lot of details there. He doesn't want to get the kid confused.
The kid hops off and goes and grabs your mule.
Ooh.
And then he goes and he grabs a nag who can be used as a pack horse. Just you?
He's looking around. He's like, Hey, they got to get their own horses. I'm not in charge of nobody. Yep, he's more than happy, and he wanders off, and he goes and he collects his stuff from his hunt, and he starts packing up.
All right.
Gets ready to go meet them after he gets some grub.
What is Jandor doing?
So Jandor, he's gonna go back to his little area that he was sleeping at. Make sure that he's got all his things. You see him kind of like just kneel down, like saying a silent prayer to. You don't know who he's talking to, but and then he just starts walking his way. Everything he owns is on his back. He doesn't have it really. And then he heads over to the main fire tent where he was told to meet the rest of them.
All right. As you were standing there are some people coming and bringing some packs and setting it down next to you. So you aren't going without supplies into the desert. But it's not a superb amount of supplies. Right now is the hottest season, and they need more than they can spare. They haven't quite raided someone to get more supplies. So eventually the three of you all meet up and are going to head off into the desert.
I have my retainers as well.
That is correct. The six of you meet up and head off into the desert. And as you travel, following some path east, you meet up with the fourth player in this party. And
Sup, player?
Hello there.
That sounds like Soul in search of it. Wait, no.
Knock him out. Search the body.
No.
you had several adventures. I'm not certain what happened, but eventually you found your way into Callister. And here you are at the gates of Callister, stepping off the ferry.
Huh. Well, I figure somewhere along the line, your legs will carry you one place or another.
How did we end up in a place worse than the Brightlands?
Not a question you need to ask.
At least there's water.
But it stinks! It stinks worse!
Oh, don't even tell me about what stinks.
And all the bugs.
That's just flying snacks.
Callister is a town of 4,000 people set on the river, and it is one of the big trade towns of the Gnat Marsh. It is on the edge of the Gnat Marsh. Where would you gentlemen like to head?
Well, after a long journey, I'm assuming we're going to try and find someplace to bed down.
Absolutely.
What time of day is it?
I'm going to say that it is mid-afternoon.
Okay.
Oh.
And something to drink.
Definitely something to drink.
If we're awake, it's drinking time.
If we're awake, then you must drink until you're unconscious. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's how Gruder rolls. Either until he's unconscious or someone else is.
Is the best time had when both?
Well, usually he's shortly thereafter.
Because of drinking to victory, correct?
Yeah, exactly. I won! I'll drink to that.
Why not?
Mm.
He has a drinking problem.
Well, when
And
he's,
whatever-
when he's not busy talking to his horse. No, you just follow the pack mule. You follow the pack mule. You're bad. Bad horse.
Ruda gets to finish the drink of whoever he knocked out, correct?
Yes. That's how it works. Isn't that's his victory? That's his spoil. All right. I guess we go to the tavern.
There absolutely is a tavern. It is called the... I should have generated this earlier.
I gave you a name that you could use.
The dagger.
The Rusty Dagger?
The
Sure.
bent dagger.
The bent dagger. Oh, the rusty dagger's good too. That's
Rusty
the
dagger is
next
also
town.
permissible.
That's the next town we go into. There's a lot of dagger-themed taverns here.
I mean, it's Callister right in the Gnat Marsh. Come on.
It's very, very unoriginal.
Have you met the shop proprietors?
Are they Bob and Robert?
Larry, Curly, and Joe.
And Joe. Okay. Let's go to the Rusty Dagger. I got a tetanus shot, so I'm good. Herbalism for the win.
The Rusty Dagger
Invented
is
versus disease.
actually fairly packed at this time of day. I mean, there's a couple spots on certain tables that you might get a splinter. Because whatever happened, they didn't have very good tables. But it seems like the locals are enjoying themselves.
Far be it from me to say no to that.
So is it just locals in here, or is there anybody that stands out to us as out of place as we walk in? Besides that.
Nobody amazingly stands out. I mean, there's some people who look like they could be guards who get glared at by another group of locals, and It's just people.
Hmm.
Nobody from the Brightlands, obviously.
Not enough
I'll go
tan.
up and order the two of the strongest ales that they have, and bring one to Kazad and one to Gruda. Sorry, I don't. The other guy. We haven't fought together yet.
That's true.
It's fine. It's fine. I provide for myself. And I'll pull out a little water skin.
Gruda nods and grunts in appreciation and takes the tankard and eyeballs around the room for a free seat.
Freezy.
Yeah, he's gonna go find us seats. Oh, look,
Yes.
these guys right here. They were saving our seats. Thanks, guys.
Basically, Gruda absolutely can walk up towards the table where he thinks that he should be sitting and make someone give up his seat.
I assumed he was doing that while I was getting. That's like our standard protocol. I go get the drinks. Gruda gets us a spot.
You get drinks. You get the seats. You get the food.
That's true. I can smell if it's bad.
Which, you know, it might smell bad. We're on the edge of a marsh.
I just calmly watch them do their thing. I haven't known these guys for very long, so I'm just kind of getting a feel for how they deal with themselves.
As we sit down at the table that Gruda got us, I turn to Kaza and say, "So, what did the scroll say?"
Yes, what are we looking for?
All right. I will first hand Jandor the food that smelled the worst.
Of course.
You're immune to disease.
Exactly.
And then I'll take the nicest just because I don't want to smell terrible food for the rest of the day. And then I will pull out the scroll and read it, I guess, quietly to the group.
It is a message from the Emperor to your warlord, asking him to send a small group of his best posing as mercenaries.
Posing.
How did we
As
get
far
chosen
as
for this?
he's concerned,
That's an
yours-
insult. We are mercenaries.
I'm sure, or you reworded it as send them out as mercenaries.
Just erase it.
To find an object in the Gnat Marsh of which there's something magical in the Gnat Marsh, but they do not know what it is. They don't have any clues, and to return it, and to give it back. You're basically getting it back through some channels on how to get it to the Emperor. What are you scratching out now?
No, my notebook.
Okay.
So, here to tell me that you've come all the way to the Gnat Marsh to wander around until you find some specifically magical object.
No, not specifically. Ambiguously magic.
Some ambiguously defined specific magical.
Yeah.
It got us
But,
away from the warband, didn't it?
Yeah, well, we'll get around to finding it eventually.
I'm not questioning personal notice.
So,
Simply just confirming for myself.
yeah, and we're not giving it to him, regardless.
Oh.
That dude is a tyrant.
Yeah, fuck Rary.
You know, whatever you're into, buddy. I don't judge you.
Honestly,
not my type personally, but
I wouldn't know any different. Can I roll history?
Sure.
That is a mighty 17. Actually, not that bad.
That's actually pretty good.
Given
Rarity
that I have.
You have disadvantage.
is
God.
betrayed the Council of 8 Wizards and did some awful things and forced himself to, and basically made himself Emperor of the Brightlands, and lives in a wizard tower in the Brass Hills.
Oh, so he built himself a giant FU tower and said, "I'm king now."
Yep.
Yes.
After betraying his friends, because his nickname is Rary the Betrayer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You don't get that nickname for being a decent person.
Yeah.
You
You notice I stole a horse as we left? I don't care if it's a shitty horse. I got a horse.
Acquired tactically.
Yes.
So tactical acquisition.
Exactly.
So then, I guess the question to you is, what next?
I mean, we're still mercenaries, so
There's got to be a job here somewhere.
yeah.
Exactly. Who do we work for here?
Plus the stronger we get when we go back, the stronger our warband becomes.
Right.
I see.
Whenever we go back.
If
Yeah.
that winds up being the case, I see. Well, I mean, the world is very large, and the Night Marsh is just one place in the world. But I guess if you're going to deny this man his trophy of choice, far be it for me to disagree with you.
What if we never find it?
Well, that would be unfortunate. What a shame.
Well, if you never find it,
We tried our best. Oh no.
if you never find it, well, I can always tell your story.
And as the silence falls over the group, you see one of the locals toss something at a guard.
I kind of watch everything transpire.
You blokes won't even go, oh, look at the north, earth and the marsh. Why aren't you going after the lizard men? And the guard is just sitting there, wiping the ale off of him.
That is a waste of perfectly good ale.
Alcohol abuse.
That is alcohol abuse. This seems like a person conversation. I'm not good at those.
I'll wait for the confrontation to end before I approach the local that threw the ale.
They just start arguing.
Oh, okay. I'll let that play out, man. I'm good.
Yeah, maybe they'll fight.
Yeah.
Well, he does try and fight, but keep in mind it was a table of guards, and he gets basically told that he's going to the drunk tank. Forcibly. By being marched out.
What's a drunk tank?
So I'll go up then before he gets marched out. I'll go up and I'll try and charm him. I'll be like, hey, sorry about him. I'll take care of him. I'm sure he finds a place. And I buy them an ale.
By the guards an ale?
Yeah, so that they'll leave him alone and let me take him.
Roll a persuasion?
Ooh, terrible for me. 10.
And Gruda walks over there to help
works
I was like, he
as
did buy
you're
them an ale.
buying guards ale.
That lowers the DC.
That does lower the DC.
It's a friendly action.
It's true.
A very cunning plan there, friend.
And
That's why
try
you
and
told me to
lead.
talk to people.
I'll try and lead the I'll try and lead the local back over. So you're having trouble, I hear.
Sent a soul in search of answer.
Nobody's patrolling. More of us are dying.
So you've been having trouble with lizard.
Lizardmen. At least we think. Nobody's patrolling up in the north like they're supposed to. People aren't coming back from gathering supplies to sell here.
That's terrible. That is absolutely awful. You know, I'd love to help, but we aren't exactly
Guards.
a charity service, I guess.
Charitable organization.
I wonder what lizard folk taste like.
Probably like poop.
Oh, we're gonna.
Probably not very good.
It all depends on how you cook them.
I'm sure we could band together to raise something to pay you.
And as something, I mean, it would have to be worthwhile. There are 7.
There are 7 of them.
7 of us. 7 of us, you say?
There
Yeah,
are
Groot-
7.
Gruda picks up his great axe and he's like, "Yeah, axes are expensive, you know."
Because
He's not threatening him, but he puts it back down. He's like, calls for
one
another round of ales.
of the retainers just does. Your healing retainer just does this at the table.
Healing who?
Now you see, my friend, I first love to help you out, but you know, there's expenses. You know, that they're endangering their lives. It's hard to get people to endanger their lives. I'll work. So a meager sum of 600 gold would be perfect.
I have a medical condition.
You see the village, the local pale. You think that he's never seen 600 gold in one sitting ever.
I mean, divide 600 by what? There's maybe 100 people in this village. That's only
There's
6 gold each.
4,000 people in this village.
Oh well, you guys can afford that. You know, and that's with my discount.
The good guy discount, right?
Is there like a local guild master?
What did you say?
He's asking if there's a local guild master.
Guild master for what?
That answers that.
Maybe their leader,
Is there like a mayor?
their war
There
chief.
Mayor. We should talk to the mayor.
Or the captain of the guard, maybe.
I hope one of them isn't the captain of the.
Well, they like
That would
me.
be awkward, no, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Well, you did buy him that round of ale.
Exactly. I already got a guard.
The
If one of them
captain,
was, it would
the
be a
captain
couple
of the
more rounds of
guard's
ale.
not here.
See, we're so. I assume that we've worked together before, and this is a standard like procedure, I guess. I'd like to say that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of double fist it. So we get the locals who are having the trouble, pay a little bit of money, and then we go talk to the mayor or